Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to wish you Zhao Shan Hao or Zhao An if you are from Taiwan. Huan Ying to you all, welcome. My name is John Keane. I am Professor of Politics here at the University of Sydney and one of the co-founders of the Sydney Democracy Network, which is sponsoring today's event. I wanted to thank from SDN several people. Lindy Baker, who is dressed in blue, probably tweeting at this very moment, and Janice Chan, who is immediately behind her, and Giovanni is up the back. Thank you very much to you all for your help. I wanted also to thank my friend and colleague Qin Tin from the China Democracy Forum. He's somewhere up the back, and also David Tian for co-sponsoring this event today. And I want to thank as well the Taiwan Foundation for Democracy for financial support for this. We have a custom in this country of acknowledging that we gather on the lands of indigenous peoples, of the Gadigal people, and I want to do that. This land is land on which these people have lived for some 40,000 years and whose land it remains, despite everything. I wanted to offer a special warm welcome to our fellow Asian guests who have travelled to our shores. To Chan Yiman from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. I was going to ask you to clap at the end, but you've clapped already, so that's great. Alex Chow from Hong Kong is and next to him, immediately to his right, though not politically, Lester Shum, welcome. Is Edward Chin here already? He's coming. He's known on CNN as the hedge fund guy. He's going to join us and talk about hedge funds and Hong Kong and its future. I'm not sure if Hu Yuan Hui is here. Yes? David Tian is here somewhere. David? Is Krisan Palm already here from Brisbane? Coming?
He's at the airport to pick up...
Chi, yes, she's coming. And all the way from Saskatchewan via Bondi at the University of Sydney is Stephanie Undell. And last but not least, Professor Simon Torme, who is head of the School of Social and Political Sciences, a generous supporter of this event, and you should all know that he is a scholar who is among the world's leading analysts of the new politics and new movements that have sprung up in recent years. Simon, perhaps you'd like to say just a few words.
Well, thank you very much, John, and welcome everyone. And I also would like to acknowledge that we are on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and we say that to remind ourselves of 40,000 years worth of struggle in this country of ordinary people for rights, entitlement. They've been here a very long time, and Sydney University is a very recent, in the great scheme of things, institution, but it's also a great institution which has a rich tradition of supporting events like these. I'm very mindful that we're in the law school here. Those of you following the news closely will this morning have seen that our former Dean of Law, Gillian Triggs, who's now Commissioner for Human Rights in this country, on the offensive about the authoritarian measures which our government is taking. Barrow loads of new legislation which are designed to make it easier to exercise power, make it easier for elites to operate in this country, make it harder for ordinary people to protest and to receive and welcome people struggling from abroad. So I'm very mindful this is an institution which in a sense has long been a thorn in the side of authorities, and may it long be so. Anyway, that just reminds us that really the struggles of Hong Kong are a microcosm of struggles which are going on around the world. And John and I have very much a shared interest in what we might call the power of the powerless. And this is going back for he and I to looking at the 1980s situation and behind the communist bloc in Central Europe, Eastern Europe and so on, and trying to raise the profile of the writings of people like Václav Havel, who went on to become president of Czechoslovakia as was, basically interested in how it is that ordinary people in this room, all of us, can make our voices heard, can struggle for human rights, for dignity, for respect. These are universal themes. So we sit here partly, of course, in admiration and comradeship with those of you struggling in Hong Kong for these very basic aspects of human life that we should all expect, but also because we're interested in how this reflects on our own society and societies across the world. And it's not just about China, it is about the struggles in Europe, the struggles in Americas, struggles in Africa and so on. What can we learn from these struggles in Hong Kong? So I'm very much looking forward to hearing this opening set of sessions. I don't want to leave the microphone, however, without acknowledging the work of John Keane and his colleagues in Sydney Democracy Network. It's a rather extraordinary initiative, part research centre, part animator of important issues of our time. Without them, the place would be much duller. So I take my hat off to Gio, Linda, John and colleagues. I hope very much you enjoy the day, and welcome for all of our guests who've come from abroad, come from other parts of Australia, other parts of Sydney. I hope you very much enjoy it, and I shall leave you with the microphone and John Keane. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Simon, for your support and kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, during 2014, we all know that the Citizens' Initiative that was known as Occupy Central with Love and Peace, and later the USAN, the Umbrella Movement, seriously disrupted life and business as usual in Hong Kong. In support of such principles as social justice and free and fair elections, the dramatic occupation of various districts of the city generated widespread local public debate, and it captured the attention of the world's media. This initiative in Hong Kong shared arguably more than a few qualities of previous occupations, from Puerta del Sol in Madrid to Tahrir Square in Cairo. The Hong Kong Uprising quickly became a global media event. In mainland China, by contrast, in a situation of one country and two systems, supposedly, the citizens' uprising was greeted with heavy censorship, with hostile reporting and political intransigence. And after nearly 3 months of resistance, the Hong Kong occupations ended, as we know, in something of a peaceful stalemate, but with no working agreement between the citizens of Hong Kong, their local government, and Beijing. A stalemate, one could say, symbolized by Xi Jinping's reported remark that the Chinese Communist Party should show guts. I'm not sure what the original was, some translate it as balls, when dealing with this episode. And as you know, Xi Jinping pointed out that the reason, a key reason in the end why the Soviet Union collapsed was because of a lack of guts or balls, and that this should be displayed in the face of illegal disorder in Hong Kong. The intransigence is also perhaps symbolized by the New Year message. Some of you will know about this message of CY Leong. In the Chinese New Year message, he urged, acknowledging that it had been a difficult year in Hong Kong, that all Hong Kongers should take inspiration from the sheep's character, from the young, and that the citizens of Hong Kong should pull together in an accommodating manner. He went on to describe sheep, young, as, quote, widely seen to be mild and gentle animals living peacefully in groups. This is not a very encouraging remark from the chief executive. Well, the aim of this forum is to examine the dynamics that triggered the emergence of USAN, the umbrella movement, to assess its social impact, to look at its political tactics and achievements, to consider whether there have been setbacks, and if so, whether these setbacks can be overcome, to play a vital role in shaping not just the future of Hong Kong, but political dynamics in mainland China as well. I hope today that some serious, deep penetrating questions will emerge. For example, the movement was non-violent. It remains non-violent, decentralized, equipped with the latest IT, even with drones. The movement was thoroughly media savvy. The question is, how important have digital media been in this struggle? Remember that Tiananmen uprisings took place in the spring-summer of 1989 in the era of the typewriter, in the era of mass broadcasting, television and radio. The umbrella uprising is digital. Its networked, dispersed, distributed structures make for much greater flexibility, mobility and experimentation with new social media, don't they? Or a second question, does the umbrella movement require us to change our thinking about such matters as revolution, elections and democracy? Some say revolution is a thing of the past. Western media reports, you will note, concentrate on numbers in the streets, and they point out that the umbrella movement is dying a slow death. Is this all true, or might the movement be rather like the umbrella of a jellyfish? I'm not sure if you've ever looked at a jellyfish. Don't pick them up, but if you look at the umbrella, it's actually called the umbrella of a jellyfish. It's a sort of gelatinous disc which has this amazing ability to contract and expand as it moves through the water. Could it be that the umbrella movement is rather like the jellyfish? That is, a form of resistance that is practicing the arts of staying alive, sometimes apparently retreating, sometimes going forward, through the use of umbrella media. Finally, a big question. Is this phenomenon of 2014 and into this year the deadliest challenge to one-party rule in China since Tiananmen? Is there truth in the remark of Hu Jia, a prominent dissident in Beijing who was placed immediately under house arrest during the Yusan, that, as he put it, the outcome of this battle for democracy, Minzhu, will also determine future battles for democracy for all of China? Well, we hope our distinguished guests will help us address such questions, help give us a feel, let's say, a better understanding of what happened, of what is happening, and what might happen in the future. We hope our guests will help correct our misperceptions, our stupidities as dumb melons. I'm told that shagua might be a word used to describe us. We are shagua in matters of Yusan, so I'm hoping that you will get rid of a few of our stupidities. And we hope, as our guests, that you might even learn a little bit from our questions here in Shuili. The working language today is English. We will have question and answers briefly at the end of each talk, and then this afternoon a much longer period to talk through all of the issues. Yu Yang is here somewhere, has very kindly, without any arm twisting, agreed to be our interpreter if you need to put your question in Mandarin. To set the scene, I suggest we have a little look at this 4-minute video, which will, it's a bit outdated, but it gives you some sense of how things were at the time. Welcome to you all.